Hello again, this is Lyndon, and I am here for our final video in our computer series, part 3 of taking apart different types of computers. So if you can remember, we are going to take apart a smartphone today, a cell phone, and we're going to find the 7 things that the phone has in common with our laptop and our desktop computers. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. You can see right here that I have the phone. I'm using a broken phone as always because since I'm just tearing this apart for fun and I want to put it back together and keep using it as an example, I have this cracked screen and it actually doesn't work at all anymore. So I'm going to pop off this little back casing here. Now, a lot of phones are very different, so this one's a little bit easier to take apart than some other ones because this little casing comes right off. We'll see a couple of things as we dive right in and get some tools out. We'll use this one. I'll use this one for pointing to things. So this right here is going to be part number 1, and that is the skeleton of our computer. That's the case that it's all held into. Because phones are so small and compact, the case is built into the screen and all of those different things. So it's kind of a little bit different than other things. And part number 2, right off the bat, is our heart. This is the battery. So unlike the PSU and it is like a laptop where laptops use batteries because they're portable, this one also has a small battery. And in this phone, you can carry around multiple batteries and replace them if it ends up dying. So it's really quick and easy. So we have, I'll put that over here about, there's a battery, and we do have some screws here. So I might just jump ahead because I forgot to take these out ahead of time. But I'm going to be using, a very tiny screwdriver right here. So let's just get in and so small. How many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 screws all together. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Okay, so I'm just double checking to make sure that there's nothing we're looking for on this, and it doesn't seem like there is. So I'm gonna pop this case off. All right, there's that. Put this kind of over here. Maybe I'll try to keep it in sight. I'll keep it over here for now. Okay, this is the next piece, right? This whole entire thing right here. If you remember, that is the nervous system, which is the motherboard. So just like all of our other things, this also has an entire chip there. That's the motherboard. Let's see what else we've got. It's kind of cool. I'm gonna flick this up. This little guy right here. Ooh, it fits right there in my finger. That's the front camera. That's the selfie camera, which is crazy. That's so tiny. Put that somewhere safe. This one is the back camera. It's kind of the good one. I can pull this off. Can I unplug that? Not really. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. And I have a feeling that what I'm looking for is going to be in here, underneath those. So maybe, what's holding me back? Oh, it might be nothing. This is unplugged. Oh, this is a ribbon. Whoops, right here. It's important. These types of cables are called ribbon cables. They can break very, very easily, so you have to be extra careful. I've had friends who were working on their phone and then they broke that cable and there was nothing they could do. They had to buy an entirely new phone. Okay, here's our motherboard. This is kind of interesting. Let's see, what am I thinking? We remember there were fans in the computer and the laptop, the desktop and the laptop, and the fans kept the brain cool. Well, in this case, it's all so small, there's no room to really put a fan in here. Some phones do have fans, but almost all of them do not. I would say 98% of them have no fans in there. 99%. Anyway, so this right here, this is this blue thing. Oops, show that to you. It's called a thermal pad, and so it absorbs heat really, really efficiently. It does it really well. That's its only job. It's to soak up all of the heat. And so it takes all of the heat from this right here and it transfers it over to this metal plate, all of this metal plate, and it tries to spread it all around. And because it can spread it so far out, then the heat dissipates. And so it gets a lot cooler because it's over a large area. So imagine if you put all of the heat that was on this entire table and you just shoved it into this little pad. Well, that wouldn't be that great. And so what you want to do is you want to take it from this little piece, put it to the pad, and then you want to have the pad send it to the whole table. Then the entire table might be warm, but that one little thing will not be hot. Okay, so shouldn't take it too far away, otherwise you can't see. Gonna unplug that. This is the front camera. Again, it's not one of the parts that we're looking for, but it's kind of cool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get under these tins. So I will use a tool maybe like this. And probably not the best way to do it, but it's going to be my way. I'm just going to pry it up, try to pop it up. Cool. And let's find a good spot. Some places are better than others, and this one might be like right there. Okay. Oops. There we go. Okay, let's get a quick jog my memory of what we're looking for. Oh, we are looking for memory. So we have the heart, the battery, that is 1. The case, that is 2. We have the nervous system, which is the motherboard, that is 3. And I guess that's it. So we're looking for memory. In this case, well, it does have the 2. It's going to have the short-term memory and the long-term memory. Long-term being the HDD. Which is right here, and so it looks very different, and it's super fast. It's much faster than a computer's normal storage. So there's that. That's our long-term memory. Wow, I don't know if you can see these details. Let me peek over. Probably not. Can I move it up? No. Okay, well, there's some text on it, so the text kind of helps me to figure out what it is. So there's the HDD, and it's all so small. These parts you have to be very careful with, because if you were to break any of these little things, then it could ruin the whole phone in one big go. Well, I mean, I'm going to bank on the fact that, what does it say? This is going to be our, I think I need a light. I need a light somewhere. Okay, maybe not. Just use the sun. I'm just going to get up really close. Okay, just in case, we're going to do one more thing. We're going to take this piece off back here, because it might actually give us some more information. There we go. Pry that off. Let's set it in my little bundle of things. Oops, set it in my little bundle of things over here. And what does that tell us? Does it tell us anything more? Well, this probably won't be super helpful. I might not know enough to know all of these phones. Well, I'm going to call this the GPU right here. This is the muscles of the computer, the phone. And we're going to maybe say that this down here, maybe not, this is the Qualcomm. Maybe it's reversed. This might be all of the muscles right here, and this is probably the brain. We'll call it that. That makes the most sense. And so that's the CPU, that's the GPU. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. The short-term memory is going to be more than likely, again, I know that I'm not getting everything totally exact, but I promise you that these are the 7 parts that we're looking for. The difficulty is that a lot of phones look very different because they can change so much in between them, and I'm not a professional on building phones. I've built computers, but not so much building phones. So I'm making a couple just educated guesses. It's that I know what things look like, and I'm not starting from zero. I don't have no idea what they might look like, but using my knowledge from past experiences, I'm making an educated guess that it's probably this, but it might not be correct. So probably the GPU, probably the CPU, and this stuff is probably going to be the short-term memory, which is the RAM, and then this one's going to be the long-term memory, which is going to be our little like SSD, which I can totally confirm that because it says 64 gigabytes on there, which is how much I have in my phone. Okay, so let's see. Motherboard, nervous system, so that's 1. And then we have our long-term memory, HDD, that's 2. We have our short-term memory, which is the RAM, that's 3. We have our brain, which is the CPU, that's 4. We have our muscles, which is the GPU, that is 5. We have the heart, which is the battery, so that is 6. And then finally we have the case, which is our skeleton, and that's 7. So it's pretty much everything that you need to know. Okay, so that sums up our video. We did find the 7 parts that are inside of all computers, and we did that with a desktop, a laptop, and a smartphone. If you haven't seen those other 2 videos, you can go to our channel and you can find them. And if you have seen them, then make sure that you subscribe because we're definitely going to do more computer content. Thanks for watching. Bye.